How's it going, everybody? I'm going to do a quick video on the city I live in. It is Midland, Texas. Now, this town is an oil town. It's an oil field town, should I say. It's like the heart and soul of the oil field of the Permian Basin. I'm in Midland. Odessa's right next door, so it's like Midland and Odessa. We're down the street from Lubbock. It's about an hour away, and like 400 miles from El Paso, and about 500 miles from Dallas. We're in between Dallas and El Paso. And what makes my city, something special is, of course, the oil. I've grown up here all my life. I was born in Southside, Midland, Texas, and it's been a good life. The crime here isn't that bad. Again, the worst part about living here is the traffic. It's hella dangerous. I mean, you can get unalived going to Chick-fil-A, getting lunch or getting dinner for your family. It's a hella dangerous with the traffic. That's probably the worst part about it. As of late, we had a big influx of Cubans in Odessa. Now they're all in Midland, and anytime you're in a town that there's a bunch of oil or work, boom town, should I say, that's the kind of people that come this way. Just all kinds of people, should I say, right? Foreigners, people from other cities and states. I mean, that's just how it is living in a town where, oil is plentiful and there's a bunch of work and a bunch of jobs and opportunities. The housing is harsh situation, should I say, because, it's hard to, the price, right? It's the price gouging. I'm looking at this video behind me playing all this stuff, but yeah, a big problem that we have here is the locals always complain about not having anything to do in Midland. It's usually just a church. There's churches, bars, and restaurants. That's about all you can do in this town. They've been having some events happen. They've been invested into entertainment out here because they've figured out, or we've all known that there will be it's a good place to make some money if you can find something for people to do. There's really nothing for people to do here, right? We have little pools here in the community. I think in Washington Park, and I think there's another one on the other side of town. I forgot what it's called. Forgive me, but we do have pool places. We got 2 Walmarts. We got a mall, and that's about it. We got a stadium. A sports complex basically where they have football and baseball and all that. But again, like I said, it's really a hometown city, right? It has the small city vibes, but the strange thing about it is the oil. The oil actually, it can either make or break a town, to be honest. And me and my wife, we ain't too happy with it, y'all. To be honest, we're really we're about fed up with it because, yeah, you make good money, you can provide a good living for your family, but the stuff that comes with an oil town, a boom town, it's horrible, to be honest. The crime, the traffic. It's crazy, and like I said, it's not like it's a high crime town, but I believe there's actually more crime that's being reported on the news. And to be honest, I think, the biggest, one of the biggest issues here is not even just, criminals from out of town or regular street criminals, but, the politicians and local elected officials. They're like some of the biggest crooks of them all, because the thing that sucks here is the oil runs the whole show, right? So you got these big companies that come in here, set up shop, want to get a lot of people to work for them, right? And they invest money in the community, so they say, or like they do, because of course it's a tax write-off as well. But these people actually influence these city leaders, right? So eventually, the way I looked at it now, after being here for so many years and living here, being born here, is that these big companies start controlling the city to a certain extent, because the city officials want them to be here, to be giving jobs to the community. But then these big companies start pushing, their agendas. They start, throwing their money around, and, they have a lot of power here. And it's crazy because I'm an owner operator. I have my own trucking company. I haul oil, and you would think I'd be sitting here talking good about these companies, but I'm not dumb. I've seen where my city has gone, where it's come from, what it's become. And like I said, me and my wife were born and raised in Midland, Texas. And it sucks, being someone that was born here, and you've noticed the changes throughout the years, when everybody starts coming here, it's undeniable. And that's the point, right? Me and my wife, we can't stand it, but the sad fact of the matter is we'll probably stay here, live here, and die here, because that's just all we know. It's like a bunch of people that are, that are born in their hometowns. They never leave. And that's the boat I'm in with me and my wife. So I just want to give a rundown on here. Is there work here? Yes, there's a lot of work. There's actually so much work here that, people without educations can get rich. I'm one of them. I got my GED. I didn't finish high school. I jumped in the oil field, easily making 100,000 plus a year as a regular truck driver, 120 at times, 100 and almost 130, 150. But then I went ahead and bought my own truck, and, I got into the trucking game, and, I make, thousands a day, but like I said, what glitters ain't always gold, because in a town like this, the way it is, there's a lot of vices and a lot of problems. I have family members and friends that are, dead or in prison. Some, get hooked on stuff. And that's just not just people in the hood and the South Side or whatever. There's all kinds of addictions and people that are addicted in this city, right? And I'm talking about people that make money. I've heard stories. I've, heard of people. We know of people. And that's just how it goes. Marriages, have a hard time here. Men that come from out of town that work here, they get wrapped into working hard and partying hard, So it's a lot of I always say a lot of pitfalls and a lot of downfalls in a city like this. And I'm not trying to sit here and down my city, but I'm just giving the ugly truth that a lot of people ain't gonna tell you about, right? You're just gonna see videos of anything of Midland, probably people telling you that there's work here, the oil fields here, and all that. And yes, there is a lot of work here, and yes, you can make a fortune here. But at the same time, you can fall vic and prey to the vices and the pitfalls that surround a town like this. I always said it, and I'll say it again. Not everybody can have money or handle money, due to the fact that, with money comes power, and, and everything else, wicked comes this way when you got some money, right? I know people that, worked in the field making good money, and before you know it, they're hooked on something, and man, they're in prison, or God forbid, they wreck, DWI, catch a DUI, they're on probation, whatever, right? It's not far fetched to know somebody that works in the oil field that's currently on probation, or has gotten, doesn't have a license, right? Or it's suspended. There's a lot of companies that are always looking for people to work, but sometimes people don't even have a license to go show up to the job because, they lost it somehow. Like I said, matter of fact, speaking of that, my wife told me the other day that Odessa, the town next to me, has like the highest rate of DWI. I don't know if it's wrecks or arrest or whatever, but it's number one in I think the nation, or maybe in the state for sure, Texas. And then number 4 is Midland. So it's Midland, Odessa, and the DWI rate in Odessa is so high that it tops the list of all these cities. So anyways, this is just the part 1 of my video about living in Midland. I wanted to make some content about where I come from and how it is. And yes, for the most part, I have my family here. It's a decent place to raise a family. There's not much to do, but make money. And make money we do, and make money I have. And it does provide a good living here. But the only problem is knowing how to survive or strive and continue making money without falling into these pitfalls and the snares of the wicked ways of this world, especially in a town like this when there's not much to do but go to church, go to a bar, or go to a restaurant. That's like the main top 3 things you can do in Midland, Texas, y'all. And of course, there's other things that are out there. But like I said, there's no amusement parks here. There's no event centers or nothing like that. I mean, there is a couple here and there, but like I said, it's not an entertainment, or tourist town. It's a town where you come and you make your money and I guess split or try to buy you a home. The prices of the housing here in Midland is crazy too. It's wild. Like I said, the worst part about it is the traffic, and it's like there's always construction going on, and I don't know. I also got to say that the South Side of Midland, like, it seems like it's always being neglected, right? I'm not trying to pull the race card or whatever, but the South Side is predominantly Hispanics, and that's where I'm at. That's where my people are at, and where we're from. And it seems like we get the shaft mostly with every situation that comes in the city, right? From construction being slowed down to the neighborhoods just looking like crap, and I call it dog pound, and the dog, there's freaking dogs roaming through my neighborhood, and what I'm saying, I don't know. It's just, it seems to me, without trying to play the victim or pull any kind of racial card, that the South Side of Midland, the known, what we usually think and say is that we get screwed over most of the time. We don't have really good representation. We don't trust our city officials. And that's just being honest. Again, now this is my perspective. You ain't got to like it. You can say what you want, but this is how I look at it in Midland, Texas, in my city. And that's how it is. So anyways, like I said, yes, it's an oil town. There's money to be made. You can make a fortune, but at the same time, at the cost of what? I just know when I, came up in this city, when I was a knucklehead back in my days in the street, there was a certain street element here in Midland back then. I think now it's kind of calmed down a little bit, but to really be honest, these younger kids, they really don't care, from drunk driving to, being addicted at a young age. I think it's actually probably gotten worse than when I was younger. When I was younger, it was more with a little bit of gang activity, and pushing certain products in the street. Now, I think it's actually gotten worse as far as the decisions these kids make, and you know, it's more wild. But at the same time, it's not like it's crazy dangerous. But the one thing I will say, speaking on that, is like, say I go to work at 2 in the morning. Uh, it sucks sometimes, especially on a weekend. Today's Friday. I'm going to work tomorrow, Saturday, and man, sometimes I got to watch out, not get in a head-on collision or getting into a wreck right here by this bar here in the Southside. That people gotten hit there, and there's all kinds of wrecks and police. And I've had a close calls going to work where the road shut down, and it looks like 10 minutes earlier there was a head-on collision with a drunk driver or something, or hit and run, whatever. And like I said, that's just how it is out here. You can actually get hurt or taken out going to work or going to get food. That's how crazy the traffic is. Everybody's, I wouldn't even say they're in a rush. A lot of people are on their phones. It's congested. And again, the traffic is one of the biggest, downfalls and negatives of living in an oil town such as Midland. There's really nowhere else like it, though, to be honest. Midland, Texas is a town that there's a lot of allure to it. The George Bush Sr., his house is here. The Bushes are from here. Gary Painter was our sheriff. He passed away, I would say mysteriously, but then again, they say he passed away. I don't know what issues, but the day before he passed away, he was made a Grand Mason. So there's Masonic lodges all over the city. My boy Buddy Webb, my friend Buddy Webb says that, there was underground tunnels, underground house where he lives at. He got shot. That's what he says. And, it's just a town that I would say got too big for its own britches too quick, because it has a small town feel, or it did at one time. And now there's so much oil and money, right, that it's somewhat become unrecognizable to someone that's lived here all their lives. Everybody wants to come and make money here. We got an influx of foreigners and out of towners that come here. And people like me that live here and that, see it for what it is. We know that it's not always a good thing to have, an economy like this that's basically based off of oil. It's like a boom town, like I said. Besides that, I guess, I don't know. At this point in my life, I really can't sit here and talk too good about my city, because I'm not too happy to what it's become. They're building a new school here too, and we got to pay for it. And my kids, they're all homeschooled, right? I voted against that. But like I said, there's the oil field companies. There's people that push an agenda that we need more schools for more people, but we don't even have teachers. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a big downfall of this city, is the elected officials. They're corrupt as hell, and then to say, go run and go make moves. I'm very vocal in my city, as far as becoming or getting any kind of position of power with the city. That's not part of my plans now. Maybe later, when I have enough money accumulated to where I can get involved, I just might, I don't just sit here and talk and make videos on the internet. I go out there and stand with my people when the time is needed. And I will go stand and, take a stand. But the point is, I can't talk really good about our city officials in the city of Midland, Texas. Odessa, I think they got a little bit better grasp on the leadership over there. Salute my people in Odessa. But again, this is just my little critique of my city, Midland, Texas, part one. I'll probably make another one. I just wanted to, I just want to speak on it. And I got a platform, and I will. And I'm from Midland, Texas, West Texas, the heart of the Permian Basin oil field. And there it is. Good money to be made, but at the same time, what's the use of, it's like the Lord Jesus said, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Gotta be careful coming down to West Texas. And with that, y'all, I'm out of here. Have a blessed day. Later.